This is Coach Lee, and I'm going to tell you what your ex wants. And it's important for you to know that at the moment, these things are basically masked over because your ex at the moment does not want a relationship with you. And they have to want the relationship. But they don't want it because they didn't receive these things, and now they doubt your ability to be able to provide them. And it can be just one of these things that they didn't get or doubt your ability to provide, or it can be all three. And the situation is that your ex did not get these things that they needed, and so they weren't fulfilled in the relationship. They felt like their feelings for you just faded out of nowhere, and they don't understand that, but they feel like they just have to move on, or they feel they just don't see a future with you because you didn't or couldn't provide these things. Number one is that your ex didn't feel liked or loved. And remember, this is one of the things that your ex could have wanted and not received. They could have only been missing one, or it could be all three. But one of the possibilities is they didn't feel liked or loved. And that's basically where the way that you treated them or did not treat them made them feel unloved, unwanted, and that you didn't like them. Maybe that you felt like they were stupid, or that they were only there to serve you, or that they were only there to pay for your things, or to make you look good, but that you didn't really value them as a person. And a lot of times people feel this when the other person is hypercritical or makes fun of them, especially in front of other people. And if they felt this way, over time, it will erode emotional attraction, it will erode closeness and warmth, and they will feel like their feelings faded away. They might even say something like that. That's what it feels like to them. But it's because they felt unliked or unloved for long enough, and they just finally felt that there was no future for the relationship. Take a quick second and subscribe to this channel so you can be notified when I have more videos like this. Number two, your ex did not feel like they were a priority. That means that maybe you didn't plan things, you just kind of let them happen, that you would put other things above them, and maybe you would put other people above them. Because when someone is important to us, we prioritize them. We plan our schedule around them when possible. And we look forward to being with them. It's not just something that happens randomly. It's something that we choose, that we plan, and that we think about, and we do a good job with. So if it's date night, you don't just say, well, where do you want to go eat? You actually have something planned. I'm especially talking to guys. Be the MC, the master of ceremonies. Plan the date. Tell her it's a surprise. Just tell her how to dress, but that you have made the effort. And ladies, that's something that you can do too. And I strongly encourage you to do it. He may do it more often that way, but you need to do it too so that he feels that he is prioritized and that you are planning a special night for him. It all comes down to treating someone like you want to be treated. And so if you think, I wish he would do this, or I wish she would do this, it's doing that for them. It's actually pretty simple. But don't put yourself above the other person, and don't put the other person above yourself. Treat each other wonderfully. That's one of the things that could have been missing. And over time, similar to the first unmet need that I mentioned, emotional attraction will fall. And this person will feel that it's just not worth it anymore for them to be in the relationship with you because you can't be who they need for you to be. Before I get to the third thing, get some more information on my emergency breakup kit. You can get that information at myexbackcoach.com, or a link is in the description below. It's a powerful guide to help you get your ex back and save the relationship. The third unmet need that your ex wanted but possibly didn't get from you could also have happened if the other two were unmet that I've already mentioned. And that is attraction and passion. And so if you were too needy, if you were jealous, and you acted like you felt that you were less valuable than your ex while you two were in the relationship, that can cause that. Just like letting yourself go, emotionally, intellectually, or physically, can cause a loss of attraction. And that will cause a loss of passion. They won't have passion to want to be physical with you, to want to cuddle with you, to want to have amazing experiences with you. They won't have that desire because the attraction's not there. And the other two things that I've mentioned can cause attraction to fall as well, because it becomes a negative being around you to the point that they are no longer attracted to you. And so now they no longer want the relationship. That's why they broke up with you. They don't believe that you have the ability, the capacity, or the desire to meet these needs and to be who they need you to be. And when I say need, I'm not saying that if someone doesn't have it that they will die or that they can't survive, but they won't want the relationship. It's something they need within a relationship. And without it, in some ways, they don't even feel that a relationship exists. And so the breakup makes sense. And so a way that you can give yourself a chance to save it, a strong chance a lot of times, is to give them the breakup and to go into no contact. And the reason for that is because it restarts the situation. Whereas a lot of people will think this, and it makes sense to say, well, then I'll provide those things now that they've broken up with me. But you see, breakup dynamics and relationship dynamics are actually very different, because if they don't want the relationship, then they are not interested in you providing those things. And though this is probably not something you want to hear, imagine a stranger who you're not attracted to wanting to provide the 3 things that I mentioned to you. You probably don't have the desire for them to provide that. That's where your ex is right now. I'm not saying it can't be changed. Stick with me on this, because I'm going to give you some information that can help you change things, at least give you a chance to do that if that's what you want to do. And so as I've already said, you give them the breakup. And if you've watched a lot of my videos, I do mention that. And it gives things a chance to restart, because believe it or not, you don't want to pick up where you left off. And that's a big mistake. Sometimes people will come back after there's been a breakup, and the other person will say, we'll just pick up where we left off. That's not what you need to say. That's not how you need to think either, because the relationship failed. And in order to keep that from happening again, you need to assess what happened, and you need to take a step back, and you need to start over in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, it's like you were starting your pursuit of this person again. And it's not an over pursuit. It's not chasing. It is a shared desire to move forward. And it's done so with a new understanding. But telling the other person we'll just pick up where we left off, or acting that way, actually makes you look out of touch, and it will make them doubt things. That's why a lot of times people will tell me, and they'll talk about it in the comments, I don't understand. I used what I learned in the emergency breakup kit. I used the no contact rule, and I got them back, but then they left again. And a lot of times that's because people didn't go through the entire emergency breakup kit, where I talk about what to do when they start to come back to you. And it's definitely not just pick up where you left off or act like you think that you two are back in 100%. It's very important, and I talk about this in a lot of my videos on YouTube, that you should take things one day at a time, slowly. It should feel like the two of you in some ways are earning the relationship again. When it's slow, it allows for new growth, because if you just jump right back in where you were, it will often feel like the same relationship that you had, even if you want to make those changes and you realize there needs to be changes. That's why if you're slow about things, new experiences can happen. And it's amazing how emotionally and psychologically that those new experiences can allow you to demonstrate some of the changes together and experience the changes together. And it will feel different, and it will be different from an emotional standpoint in terms of the growth as you two grow together again towards intimacy. And so it's not just to keep reattracting your ex or to show them by you saying, I want to take it slowly. It's actually serious. It's actually something you need to do in order to have the best chance of being able to make it long term and not fall back into the problems you had before that led to the breakup. And no contact can also go back in terms of their heart and their mind to when they didn't have you, because they don't have you now. They don't realize it. But if you're staying away, it lets them see that you're strong enough to stay away and that you can move on. And so it's similar to when they didn't have you, when you two were not a couple, and they have to feel some of that. And that's when they can look back on the early days, because it feels very similar, and they can start remembering some of those good things. And there has to be good things. If the relationship was just misery from day one, I don't want to give you any false hope. It's unlikely that you two are going to get back together. But if you two had a lot of positives, if the relationship was strong, at least for a long part of it, that's where you can at least have some hope, some reassurance that this could work out. A lot of times it's really a good chance that this could work out if you just do your best to apply what I talk about, especially in the emergency breakup kit, and to give your ex the breakup, to move slowly, and to reassess things based on these unmet needs that I mentioned in this video that can cause a breakup. Please hit that subscribe button, and thank you for watching.